I the anyway these were twisted. Um, Actually, it was just the bottom one. The top one appeared to be straight. I eyed it up, and the top one appeared to be straight, so I put it back on. The bottom one had one was down and one was up, and like I had to tap screwdriver in here and hit the bottom of the shock with that rubber mallet many times, and put screwdrivers back in because I don't overdo it, just to get them up in the second one, especially on the second tube. So anyway, I just put this tube in, and it went in like it's actually supposed to. So this is the test. I put the bearings are another story. I'll tell you about that in a minute. Now, to get one of these tubes out, I took my good top off and put one with marks. Then I grabbed a little piece of wood and hammered it out, and 10 or so good hard hits, and it came out. So anyway, here's my shock. And if that goes right up in there. Now that's what it's supposed to do when they're straight. When they're crooked, they don't line up. So anyway, that is real super good news. That makes my 2 or 3 hours worth of work pay for itself today. Actually, it took me all day, but I did many different things. So when they line up and go up in, there's a pretty good chance that the handlebars are straight with the wheel. And when you stand back here and look at this, it's dead on, like mechanics accurate, because there's no way that would line up and slide in if it's bent any, because there's no forgiveness in this kind of stuff. So, okay, so anyway, I had to sand, not too excited about, but I had to sand this down. I got grease all over it. I had to sand this bottom one down and polish it. It had a few gouges in it. But anyway, I'm going to be putting the wheel on. I don't think the forks had anything to do with the tire, and I already explained I got the tire right. So anyway, when I took it off, to get this shaft out, it goes down through. It doesn't go up through. You can't pull this off. You have to drive this pipe down through, and there's a circlip on the end, or one of those round C-clips on the shaft that keeps this from ever falling off. So anyway, this is what was on the bike that I took off, and the bearings actually cleaned up to be good, but you can see the shaft is gone. Rust. Up here is pretty good where the needle bearing runs, but down here, totally gone. And the little, these kind of, what do you call them? Needle bearings. They were crushed into the washers and put little lines. So that's what happens when you over tighten your steering head. See those little lines? That's where the needle bearing crushes into this hard steel. That's why it's crucial never to over tighten needle bearings, or technically wheel bearings either in the old school. But anyway, this is the setup that they have. It's like a cone with needle bearings up and down. Anyway, I had out of all these bikes, I took everything apart, and I had enough to do 2 front ends. All of them are rusted, seized up, rusted. But I had the two that came out of this were still good. Like I cleaned them up, and they spun Like you can take your fingernail in here and turn it, and all the little bearings all go around circles, and they all keep going round, 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 round. If they don't move, they're seized up. But anyway, I was able to do all this with good washers and good needle bearings inside and out, and cleaned up, and a perfect shaft off that other bike. But that shaft, I'm glad I took it apart, because that wouldn't have lasted any time at all. Definitely no couple thousand miles. It would have been loose. But anyway, I don't actually have it torqued, but it's nice and smooth now, and my forks go in straight. So for safekeeping, where I had the four, like two bearings, two and two, cleaned up, for safe keeping, I sort of cleaned up back here, and this is the 175 that I sort of think I'm going to try to get going. So I assembled these. These are all straight, and I put this together just to keep everything with grease, and everything in here is good, done. This actually doesn't have to come off again. It just needs to be polished up and a bike built, but nice and smooth. But all of them here, those are all seized, and these are all rusty and seized. I don't know if you can actually see the rust. I can. But anyway, that one might come around, but it is red in color. But anyway, it was fun. But kind of glad that I decided to take it off, and I debated that pulling it, twisting it sideways and over tightening all the Allen bolts would hold it straight, even though it's bent. But seems to me, if you drove it any amount of tall, the vibration and hitting bumps and working it, it would take its natural form and the handlebars be crooked. And I didn't want that I did not want that overhead. So when this thing goes together, I don't want to have to go back and do anything. But it does kind of worry me. Like where the frame, I had holes drilled here that I had to weld in, and Buddy had it all painted. And the steering head was all put together. He did the shocks, and this is the steering head he put in. And he's the one that built the motor, and I paid pretty good money for this thing. I hope his quality inside here is a hell of a lot better than it was on the steering head, or it's doomed. But anyway, stay positive thinking. The guy is, I'm not in charge of everybody else, but I know on the Ferrari, it had sloppy workmanship inside and out, and the farther you dug, the more you found wrong, where previous mechanics took shortcuts and didn't do proper job and mollyhawk things, and wheel bearings put on bad shafts and all kinds of things. So out there, I don't know where people get off on taking shortcuts. But anyway, see you guys later. Have a good night.